First, I would like to thank you to letting me have this opportunity to spread the message of Buddha. How it began is like uh, when I was 19, I went to a sermon of my chief monk who did it in Colombo. So I was doing schooling at that time. So I found that interesting. I mean, we all search for our we all search for something in our lives from our childhood on. We search for something in our life which is missing. Yeah, you can name many things, maybe happiness, joy, freedom, whatever it is. We all search for that. We search for that by doing things from the outside, achieving targets from the outside. We have expectations to pass exams, lead a successful life, and such on, etc. So that is how we search for freedom. It is not really because of our choice to search that. That is how the world works. I mean, from when we are born, we don't know what to do. We don't know what to do. So we don't know what to say. So what happens is the society gives you a purpose, okay, and then you understand, and then you try. Then you get this idea in your mind, okay, I have to be someone as well. I have a purpose in life. So then that is how normal people search for happiness, freedom, whatever that they are searching for. So when I was at, I think 17, 18, something like that, I first went to our chief monk, Sri Lanka. So I listened to him. I mean, uh, it was not something that I wanted. It happened like randomly. So after some time, I listened to him. I got this idea that the real happiness or real something that we are searching for cannot be achieved by searching and going on the outside. I mean, uh, like achieving a target of sorts. When we have a target in our mind, we achieve that by doing certain things. So the normal way of doing things cannot achieve. We cannot achieve the thing that we want really by going in the normal way of search. So he gave me a different perspective. The perspective was like look inside your mind, look inside and understand your mind. That is the way to true happiness. So it struck me really. And after like 2 years of listening to him at 19, I decided I want to be a monk. Working with the soil and cultivating the mind is the connection. So when you cultivate your mind, any work that you do can help you cultivate your mind. I mean, not just working with the soil, not just working with the earth. Anything that you do it with your mind. You have your mind. If you want to work in an office, if you want to work in someplace else, you always have your mind to do that. So working with soil, especially when you work with plants and all that, even right now here, you can see the change, the impermanence of everything. When you work with plants, when you work with soil, you see that every time how a plant grows, it changes every time. So what it means by cultivating the mind is you are understanding more about your mind. If you have not cultivated your mind, then you get stressed, anxiety, depression, anger all the time. That is what is an uncultivated mind, ununderstood mind. So when you say cultivating the mind, it is supposed to mean you have more understanding of your mind. If you have cultivated your mind, then you are not to be get angry by anything that is happening around you. You are not to feel stress with things that is happening around you. So when you work with your mind, with doing different tasks, it helps you. If you see the impermanence of stuff, the problem arises when in this impermanent world, you expect things to be in a certain way. You think my parents, my husband's wives should behave in a certain way. You put that in a permanent way. That is the problem. Not the things happening around you, but you expect things to happen permanently. You expect your kids not to get sick. That is permanent in your mind. But we are living in an impermanent mind. So working with the soil, working with these plants and all that, it helps you to understand that this is an impermanent world. It is ever-changing world. Everything is changing. These trees, they grow and grow. The leaves in these trees, it's getting older and then they fell off. New ones come in. It is a changing world. That is the reality of this world. It is ever-changing. It is not permanent. It is always impermanent and changing. So once you see the world, the soil is also changing. And once you see your mind is also like that. So it helps you, the working with the soil, it helps you to cultivate your mind in a certain way. That's a good question. So when you say meditation, there are two ways of meditation that is practiced in the world. One is called concentration meditation. Concentration meditation means you are seated or can be walking. You are trying to concentrate on something. Can be one thing. Most of the time it's breathing. Most people do it, they try to concentrate their breath. They try to concentrate on how you breathe, inhale and exhale. You concentrate on that. Sometimes it is mantras, sometimes it is chantings, some things like that. So that is called concentration meditation. Concentration meditation you cannot do with doing different tasks in day-to-day life. You have to sit down, you have to be in a quiet place, you have to concentrate. If there are many moving parts around you, it is hard to concentrate. So that is one thing. There's another kind of practice which is called vipassana, what we do here right now. This is the vipassana meditation. So vipassana is not concentration. Vipassana is something that you don't have to be seated or be alone or be in a quiet place to do. Vipassana is something different. What I mean by different, it is not concentration. Vipassana is understanding. What is there to understand? You have to understand about yourself. That is vipassana. So to understand about yourself, you don't have to be seated. You don't have to be in a quiet place. You can do it with anything in your life, with any activity that you do with your life. So for vipassana practice, of course, you can do it with everyday work that you do. You can go to work, you can go to a party, you can go to a funeral, a wedding, you can go to the groceries and still be doing vipassana meditation. So how do you do vipassana meditation? Then the next question was how to get mindfulness involved in your life, right? So mindfulness means being aware about how your mind works. So mindfulness also happens in two ways, like the awareness. We all have mindfulness when we drive. We are mindful about how is there a car next to us, is there a people next to us. So whenever you do something, you are mindful about the work that you do. When you're driving, when there's a deadline and you're working for that, with every action that you do in your life, you're mostly aware, you're mostly mindful about what you're doing. So that mindfulness is good. I'm not against that. I mean, that's how the world works. When you're driving, even when a thief tries to steal something, he's mindful about what he's doing. Otherwise, he's like looking, watch out, okay, is there anyone coming? You have to be very silent. So that is mindfulness of some sorts. But that mindfulness will not help you to achieve, in your words, how to cultivate your mind. That will not help that. So there's another kind of mindfulness. That mindfulness does not focus on the outside. That mindfulness is to search your inside. What I mean by inside is that mindfulness helps you to look inside you and see what the real reasons of your problems. What is the real reasons of your suffering? What is the real reason of your pain, anxiety and all that? The real reason for all that problems, the first thing on the surface is the desires that you have. The desire that you have towards certain expectations. You think the world should be in a certain way. It does not happen the way you want. Now you're upset. That is the real reason. For example, let's say that we agree to meet tomorrow at 3 o'clock. We set a date. We say, okay, let's go there at 3 o'clock to this certain restaurant. So you go there at 3 o'clock and I'm not there. And now you are upset, angry, right? First of all, you would not be angry. So now the time is going on, 3:30, 3:45. Now you're thinking, okay, why is he not coming, right? Then you call that person, you message that person, no replies. Now you are thinking, okay, I did all these things for the person. Why is he not showing up? You're kind of upset. You're kind of disappointed. What most people do is they think the reason behind their disappointment has to do with the person outside who did not show up at 3 o'clock as they agreed upon time. But the reality is, it is your own expectations that you got attached to, thinking that when we say we're going to meet at 3 o'clock at this place, person should show up at 3 o'clock. That expectation and that attachment that you had toward those expectations, that is what causes the stress and anger within you. It has nothing to do with the person who did not show up at 3. So that is the real reason. That is what is understood. That is what is called cultivating your mind. So mindfulness is understanding that. That is called mindfulness. Once you understand the real reasons for your anger and upsetness, that is mindfulness. Then that mindfulness can be used in everyday, day-to-day actions. So I said, the problem is the desire on the surface. Once you go deeper into this meditation, once you go deeper into Buddhism, the concept of Buddhism, the real problem is the misunderstanding that you have about your own self. The misunderstanding is you believe that yourself exists. That is the deepest point that Buddhism goes. I mean, the ego of yours, it is all made up. It's a concept. So once you go there, then that is pure mindfulness. It's quite deep, but understanding your day-to-day problems in a certain way, like I said, like I described before, like mindfulness is something that you can have all day, 24/7. Mindfulness is not, it is not something that you reach by climbing a tree or diving into the sea. It is something within here. So of course you can use it to everyday life. So the real reason why someone comes into the spiritual practice is to find joy. That's the reason. So if you're stressed out, or if you are if you are having some mental breakdown or something like that, then that is the reason why someone search for the spiritual life. What is this? Is there a better answer? If you're joyful all the time, there's no need for a spiritual practice because you're joyful. So once you're joyful in a normal way, you understand something, that this joyfulness also vanishes after some time. You get to a place where you feel happy with the things that you have, but the things that you have does not make you happy in the long term. It's very temporary. So that is why someone search for this spiritual path, spiritual practice. So when you are in the spiritual practice, if you are always stressed out, then it does not help the spiritual practice. The thing is, you have to understand is, the stress or the thing that I'm talking about you have to understand the stress that you have or the pressure that you have, if you have any, the cause of it has nothing to do with what you think it does. The cause behind it, behind your stress and all that, comes from your own mind, comes from your own imaginations, comes from your own developments in your mind. So once you understand that, doesn't matter if you are in a spiritual practice, as in like a monk or something, or in your like ordinary life, joy will be with you. Joy is something that comes with the understanding in your mind. If you have no understanding about your mind, if you have very little understanding about your mind, even a single word can cause stress in your mind. If I call you a fool, then you are stressed. If I call you in some bad words, then you are upset. If I blamed you, you're upset. A single word is enough to cause someone distress in their mind. So joy comes into your spiritual practice. If you're spiritual, joy plays a great deal in spiritual practice. If you're not joyful, then you know that your spiritual practice is not working. If you're joyful, little by little, if it is getting bigger and bigger, then you know, okay, this spiritual practice is working for me. So yes, joy plays a great deal in the spiritual practice, not also in spiritual practice, in life. Joy plays a big role. If you're not joyful, then you know there's a problem. The problem is, for most people, has to do with something outside: the wife, children, parents, the government, the weather, whatever the reason, some disease, COVID, something like that. But the reality is, those things that I mentioned before has nothing to do with your problems, with your stress. It is all made up in your mind. Most people believe what inner silence is, that there are no thoughts inside. That is the most, I have met, from the people that I have met, they think if you have inner silence, that means you have no thoughts. That's wrong. Inner silence does not mean that you have no thoughts. Of course, by doing certain concentration meditation, you can come to a state where you have very less thoughts. But even then, you have some thoughts. If you have a mind, then the mind will create thoughts, because that is the work of the mind. You use a camera to record me. I use my glasses to see the world more clearly. So likewise, if you have a mind, that means your mind will create and produce thoughts. So all of us have a mind. So that mind will create thoughts. So what is this inner silence that we are talking about? So inner silence is not really having no thoughts. It is having less value to the thoughts that you have. So what I mean value is, for different thoughts in our mind, we have given different values. The values is not real. It is the perspective of someone. Like, let's say, I look at something as good and you look at the same thing as not that good. So that is perspective. We look at something, we see something and we say, okay, this is right, this is wrong. So that is all made up concepts. So in these made up concepts, when we give different values in our mind to these things, if the value is high, the level of chattering in our mind will be higher. So inner silence means, even though you have all these thoughts in your mind, those thoughts have no weight in you. When some memories comes into your mind with great pain or something, let's say that you had a family member of yours died some like 2 years ago, but you're still struggling with it. When this memory comes into your mind, then that is not inner silence, that is inner chattering, inner chaos actually. When you think about that, then it's a problem, all that. You don't really realize that something came into your mind. It's like looking at the phone and going through your gallery. It's the same thing, right? Your mind comes up with different thoughts. So when these different thoughts comes in with different values, your mind becomes chaotic. The problem is the value that you give to these different thoughts. Once you understand that, your mind will automatically come into inner silence. Inner silence means you can think about anything. You can think about 100 years into the future. You can plan 100 years in the future. You can think about anything in your past. You can think whatever you want, but it will not have weight in you. It will not be sad. It will not be very it's a state in your mind. So once you achieve that, that is inner silence. If you're in a busy life, you have to understand busyness is also made up in your mind. No person can be busy in their life. If you think that you have lots of work, that just means you have created a huge timeline for you. What humans do is do one thing at a certain time. That's all they do. Right now, I'm talking to the camera. So when this is done, I go to the next one. When that is done, I go to the next one. So the busyness comes when you're doing something, right? Like right now. If I'm thinking about what I have to do after this recording is done, I have to do this, I have to do that, then I have to go there, then I have to go there. If you're thinking over and over about it, then you automatically becomes busy. If you think, okay, I did this, I did that, I went there, I did all this, then your day becomes busy. When your life becomes busy, you mean like you think about everything that you did, you think about everything that you have to do, then it becomes a busy life. There was once a person who came to this center who was like a person, I will keep this very brief, it's a long story. Long story short, he is a person who cannot let any others check their emails. So he has to check like 100, 200 emails a day and reply to all of them. He cannot let others check it because it is like security concerns. So he's thinking, now he is a very busy life, he has a very busy life and he's very stressed out because of his job that he has to do, checking emails and replying and all that. So his stress was because he did not understand that he checks one email at a certain time. Then he move on to the next one. What happens is after 100 emails, he's thinking, I just checked 100 emails and replied, and I have to check another 100 and I have to reply to another 100. That thinking about his future and that thinking about his past has made him stress, has given him a very busy day. But in reality, he's doing a certain thing at a certain time. That's all that we can do. That is how every one of us do work. Well, I'm not telling not to plan that, but don't make the plan your reality. Don't think the plan has to happen the exact same way that you planned it. Plans always change, and that is okay. Have a certain plan, have a little plan, like I do. It changes, then you adjust to the changes. But once you think too much about the future, once you think too much about what you did, then your life automatically becomes busy. So once you understand that from yourself, then your life, your mind will get away from this concept of a busy life. You will just do one thing and then move on to the next one. But if you cannot understand that, if you are in like a place where you have to like let's say that you are very busy like with 2 or 3 jobs that you're doing, I mean, you can do some practical things to get away from that. So in the spiritual part, I mean, like practical means like, I mean, you have more experience. The people who are watching has more experience, I think, when it comes to practicality with changing jobs. Because I didn't do any jobs because I came in here when I was 19. So in practical terms, if you can change things to like get a better, to reduce the stress, reduce your busyness, you can do that. But the real thing is, if you understand how it goes inside, then no matter, doesn't matter if you do like 100 jobs, it doesn't matter if you have 4 phones and you have to do all these things, you will not feel stress. So there are different layers into Buddhism. Not only in Sri Lanka, in the whole world, there are different layers to Buddhism. The first layer that you say is the temples, the worships, and all that. That is the ground level of Buddhism. That is majority. That's the most seen in the world, also in Sri Lanka. When you travel across Sri Lanka, you might see so many temples with so many people worshipping agoras, worshipping trees, doing like watering a Bodhi tree, like you can see in the background in every temple in Sri Lanka. So that is the ground level. It's like worshipping to Buddhas and worshipping to some gods, saying bring me peace and all that. So that is ground level. So I'm not saying it's bad. It helps lots of people to calm their minds and all that. But the real message of Buddha has nothing to do with Buddhism as a religion. Buddhism is not actually a religion. It is a teaching to understand your mind. It's like learning physics. If you learn physics, then you know how the world works, how the water goes from here to there, how the physics of the world, right? If you learn biology, you understand how the body works. So likewise, once you understand Buddhism, once you learn Buddhism, it is a teaching that teaches you how to understand what is with all of us, the mind. So if a traveler comes into Sri Lanka and get an understanding, not only in Sri Lanka, I mean, the teaching of Buddhism is about understanding your mind, cultivating your mind in that terms. So whatever the word that we use, if you have more understanding of your mind, then that brings you more peace to your mind. In the long run, if you really go into the depths of Buddhism, you can even achieve enlightenment, which is very real. It is not something made up, it is very real. You can even get enlightened if you really try to understand these concepts of Buddhism. It is not about, it is not something that you travel and achieve, it is within you. So if you understand that, if you really understand it, that this concept of you also is made up. So hopefully if we meet someday, we can talk about that as well. So if a person can understand that this idea of yourself is also made up, that enlightenment comes to you, not from outside, from within, it bursts out. So if someone can start a path or even to achieve that in their lifetime, that will be really blessed. I would like to thank you to letting me have this opportunity to spread the message of Buddha.